This is the Rant, and I'm D Mace, your ranter, and this is the Rant Nation. Listen, welcome in, guys. I hope everybody's doing good as we are approaching the holidays. Turkey Day is coming up, and family's going to be getting together. It's all beautiful. It's all a wonderful thing. I love the holidays. I don't like this time of year where it gets darker earlier here in the East Coast, but I do like the holidays. Anyway, guys, I'm on here to talk to you about a couple of shows. I'm gonna drop a few videos, and this first video we want to talk about tonight is called is about a show called The Forsytes. The Forsytes. This is a show that premiered on PBS, and actually, PBS got some pretty good shows on there. I'm like, okay, PBS coming up in their thing. Well, basically, The Forsytes is about a family that lived in the 1800s, the late 1800s, a really rich, affluent family over in England. And so you see the matriarch of the family, which is the grandmother, and she basically she's the voice of the family. She's the reasoning of the family. She's the rock of the family. And so she tells everybody what a foresight is and what a foresight does and these things. And in the beginning of the show, I kind of didn't like her. I was like, who's this snooty old lady? But she's actually pretty cool throughout the show. But you have her two sons, and her two sons were actually running a family business that their father left them. And so they're running, and they're bumping heads because one is of another mindset and the other is of another mindset. And they both have two sons who run in this family business as well. And in this family business, the sons are kind of like this. It's really crazy. You have the two sons, which his name is Jolyon Forsyte, and the other son, his name is Soames, which is an interesting name. I never heard the name Soames before. The Soames. And anyway, so the show opens up where Jolyon is getting married, and he's marrying some rich, affluent woman that her husband had passed away, and she had a daughter. And so her and him begin to, they got married and they raised up a child and things like that. So the whole thing of the Forsytes is about power. It's about who's gonna run the company next, who's gonna lead this, who's gonna be in power next. And so you see the two fathers trying to push their sons into these places so that they can make sure that their legacy is continuing to go. However, Jolyon has a past that has now caught up with him. Jolyon, before he got married, was on some kind of a trip where he went around the world and traveled and things like that, so in his wild oats or whatever he was doing. Well, in the process of that, he fell in love, but he thought that he was done with that situation when he got married, and come to find out the girl that he fell in love with is actually the dressmaker of his stepdaughter. And so she has two children by Jolyon, which he knew nothing about. That caused a whole issue between him and his wife. So really interesting stuff there. And of course the wife and the family are like, no, you can't have anything to do with them. We got to keep this Forsyte thing going. We got to be pristine. You cannot have those children up in here and all this. But his heart is like, he loves the girl, and he's obviously loves his children. So that's causing issues with him and his family. Then you have Soames, the son Soames. Soames is a trip. Soames is the son of the other father, and so Soames is he's working the father's dream, and he's trying to do everything the parents want him to do, and he's trying to do everything right and be everything that everybody's calling him to be. Well, in the process of that, he meets this ballerina who he falls in love with, and so Soames, who was a snooty little brat boy. You kind of see when he falls in love with this ballerina, because she's completely outside of that world. She's in a whole nother realm. In fact, according to the show, back in those times, to be a ballerina was kind of scandalous. Well, Soames falls in love with this girl anyway. And I thought for a minute Soames was going to change, and I thought it was going to be a more down-to-earth kind of cool guy. But he marries the girl. Falls in love with him. He falls in love with her. They don't really know a whole lot about each other, but he traps her in. And because he's trying to pull her away from that life, she's a free spirit. She wants to dance. She wants to do different things. She doesn't want to be an aristocrat and all these kinds of things. Well, he lies to her and he manipulates her and man, it's crazy how he's trapping her in, and you kind of see her kind of like, what the heck is going on? I thought I knew you. Anyway, long story short, so this show's pretty good. It's called The Forsytes. It's got a few other things that are going on in the midst of that. This is really, really interesting stuff. It is called The Forsytes. It is on PBS. Check it out. And yeah, that's all I got for The Forsytes, man. But it's pretty good. Check it out. It kind of reminds me of a mix between my show, The Gilded Age, and what's that other show? I can't think of the name of it right now. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But check it out, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe. D-Mace, The Rant. And this is You Rant Nation. Have a great night.